Hi, it's Seta here. In this tutorial we will set up morning lighting in Unity URP. Of course, those settings can be freely modified as each scene is different and maybe slightly different settings will fit better. Of course, if you are a beginner, I recommend watching this series from the beginning as I explain some options much more there. And now, let's get started. As usual, we'll start by adding a skybox to our scene. This time, we will once again use my shader, but if you want, you can use a regular cube map skybox or procedural one. But if you want to use my shader, you can download it from the link that I post in video description. Just like before, we will first add the skybox to our scene and then we place shader controller prefab. Now we need to attach a directional light to our controller as well as our skybox. Right now our sky is grey, but that's because we need to add a skybox texture to it. I will use one of the texture from the free version of AllSky for this, but you can add any other one. So first, let's click on our skybox and then add our texture into the empty field. Next, in the skybox color, I will add a bit of blue color. Then I will decrease the saturation a bit, so let's say 0.5, because we don't want the sky to be too saturated in the morning like it's now. I will also decrease the skybox intensity to 0.75 so that the sky isn't too bright. Next, we have rotation, but I think everyone will adjust this on their own. Now we move to our directional light, and first let's change light appearance to filter, and then we will change the temperature to around 5000 kelvins, as we want to get slightly warmer light. And then let's set our sun above the horizon. Now let's move back to our skybox and adjust the sun size, considering that in the morning it is slightly larger than during the day. Next we have the sun intensity, but we will see changes only after when we add bloom to our scene. Now let's go to the lighting tab and in the environment settings, change the source to gradient. In the morning, the most ambient light comes from the sky, so let's set the sky color to light blue, the equator color to slightly darker blue, and the ground color to grey. In the morning, mist often appears as well, so let's enable fog to simulate this. Set the mood to exponential and set its density to 0.006. Now we will take care of post-processing. To add it, right-click in the hierarchy window, volume, global volume. Let's create a new profile and add new override, post-processing, bloom. Let's enable it and then set the intensity to 6 and scatter to 0.9. We also want to achieve a slightly warmer sun color, so in tint let's add a light orange-red color. Next, let's add tone mapping and set it to neutral. Then let's add color adjustment, enable it, and increase the contrast to 40. Set saturation to -5 and use post-exposure to slightly increase the exposure. Add another override, shadow midtone highlights, and check shadows and slightly increase them. And also add a bit of blue-violet tint to the shadows. The final elements will be lift gamma gain. And here let's slightly increase gamma and let's increase gain. Now add reflection probe, bake scene, and you have ready lighting. Of course, you can also add vignette or ambient occlusion, change the sun intensity or colors. It's up to you how the final scene will be look like. And that's all for this tutorial. I hope the lighting present here will be useful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comments, and until next time, see ya!